Welcome back to yet another session, children. In the previous class, we learned about the demand for foreign exchange. Now we are going to learn the supply of foreign exchange. Demand for foreign exchange is inversely related to price of foreign exchange. Today we are going to learn about the supply of foreign exchange. Supply of foreign exchange. What are the sources of supply of foreign exchange? Just as we learned for the demand for foreign exchange, it's the sources, we have to learn about the sources of supply of foreign exchange. Now, different sources through which we get foreign exchange from the rest of the world. That is what we have to learn here. Sources of supply means what? What all sources we get the foreign exchange. Through what all sources we are getting the foreign exchange. The other one was why we are demanding. Here, who are supplying the foreign exchange to us? That is meant by supply of foreign exchange. Through what all sources we are getting the foreign exchange. That is known as the supply of foreign exchange. Sources of supply of foreign exchange means the different sources through which we get the foreign exchange from the rest of the world or foreign countries. Now, let us see the sources through which we get the foreign exchange. Through export of goods and services. You all know it very clearly. When we export goods and services, we get foreign exchange. So, foreign exchange, inflow of foreign exchange. Now, tourists visiting India. Tourists from the rest of the world, when they visit India, they have to make payment in the form of Indian currency. So, we will get the foreign exchange. Okay. Now, next is the foreigners visiting India for medical purposes. We get the foreign exchange which will be converted to Indian rupee in the form of Indian currency. So, the foreigners visiting India for medical purposes, especially for Ayurvedic treatment. Then next comes students from abroad visiting India for educational purpose. Just as the children from India going abroad for educational purposes, we can also find the students from abroad who come to India for educational purposes. Now, next, to make investments by the foreign companies in India. Example is multinational companies which are working in India is the best example for that. So, the companies which makes investments in India, that is also an example for the supply or the sources through which we get the foreign exchange. Now, let us learn what is the relationship between the price of the foreign exchange and supply of foreign exchange. So, here also I am trying to make you recollect what you have learned with regard to the concept of supply in class 11. What is the concept of supply and what is the relationship between the price and supply that you have learned? There exists a direct relationship between supply and price. Supply of foreign exchange and price of the foreign exchange. So, how will you explain that in the form of a definition? If the price of the foreign exchange rises, supply of foreign exchange also rises. And vice versa. That means if the price of the foreign exchange falls, supply of foreign exchange also will fall. That means there is a direct relationship between price of foreign exchange and supply of foreign exchange, just as we have learned regarding the supply concept in class 11. There exists a direct relationship between price of foreign exchange and supply of foreign exchange. Now, we can explain this particular relationship, direct relationship with the help of an example. So, for this example, we will be in need of supply curve. Okay, I have drawn the supply curve which shows the direct relationship between the price and supply. On the x-axis, I have marked the supply of foreign exchange and on the y-axis, I have marked the rate of exchange. The rate of exchange which I have taken here as the same as before, 50, 60 and 70. That means $1 is equal to 50 rupees, $1 equal to 60 rupees and $1 is equal to 70 rupees. Now, rupees 60, $1 is equal to rupees 60 will be the point of reference for us. Now let us start the explanation. Point of reference is $1 is equal to 60. So supply of foreign exchange means what? We are getting the foreign exchange. If we need to get the foreign exchange, it means that USA or any other countries abroad has to buy goods from us. That means we are giving goods for them. They have to buy the goods from us. So when we speak about this relationship between supply and the price, we have to speak from the point of view of USA. When we explained demand for the foreign exchange, we started the explanation by giving importance to India because India is demanding foreign exchange. But here when we are explaining the supply of foreign exchange, we will be starting the explanation with giving importance to USA. We are taking the example of USA because supply of foreign exchange, USA is giving the foreign exchange for us by buying the goods from our country. Now let us start the explanation. If the exchange rate decreases to rupees 50, I am pointing out that in the diagram, if the exchange rate is decreasing from 60 to rupees 50, that means previously $1 was equal to rupees 60, now $1 is equal to rupees 50. In that situation, what happens? If the exchange rate decreases from rupees 50 decreases to rupees 50 from rupees 60, it means that previously USA, that is what I told you, when you explain supply of foreign exchange, how do we get the foreign exchange from whom? USA. You have to explain, you have to start the explanation from the point of view of USA. It means that previously USA could buy rupees 60 worth good by paying $1, but now they are able to buy only rupees 50 worth good by paying $1. I hope the concept is clear to you. Previously, when the rate of exchange $1 is equal to 60 rupees, USA could buy rupees 60 worth good from India by paying $1. But now by paying $1, they are able to buy only rupees 50 worth good. 50 rupees worth good from India. So it is a loss for them. Previously they were getting rupees 60 worth of goods from India by paying $1. But by paying the same $1, now USA is getting only rupees 50 worth of good. So it is not at all happy thing for USA, right? So what happens? We can just see what happens in the diagram. When the exchange rate is rupees 60, what was the supply of foreign exchange? USA was willing to buy more from us. Therefore, supply was 20 in quantity. But now when the rate of exchange has decreased, that means USA is now able to buy only rupees 50 worth of good from India. As a result, the rate of exchange has decreased to 10. The supply of foreign exchange is 10. So we can see that. So if the exchange rate decreases from rupees 50 to rupees 60, it means that previously USA could buy rupees 60 worth good from India by paying $1, but now they are able to buy only rupees 50 worth of good by paying $1. So definitely when the rate of exchange falls from 60 to 50, automatically the rate of exchange also falls from 20 to 10. So hence it is proved that there exists a direct relationship. See the sentence, when the rate of exchange decreases, the supply of foreign exchange also decreases. Come back to the diagram. When the rate of exchange falls from 60 to 50, what happens? The rate of exchange falls from 20 to 10. Direct relationship. Direct relationship. Similarly, if the rate of exchange rises to rupees 70, it means that earlier USA could buy only 60 rupees worth of good with $1. But now they are able to buy rupees 70 worth of good with $1. So see the difference. That means, come back to the diagram. When the rate of exchange rises from rupees 60 to rupees 70, it means what? Earlier, USA could buy only rupees 60 worth of good from India by paying $1. But now they are able to buy rupees 70 worth of good from India by paying $1. That means they will be interested to buy more. When they are interested to buy more, it means what? Supply of foreign exchange will increase. Let us see whether it is true or not. See, when the foreign exchange rate, when the exchange rate rises from 60 to 70, the supply of foreign exchange increases from 20 to 30. See, 70, it is 30. 60, it is 20. So when the rate of exchange rises from 60 to 70, the supply of foreign exchange also rises from 20 to 30, which means previously USA was able to buy only 60 rupees good worth of good from India with $1. Now they are able to buy 70 rupees worth of good with $1. So when the rate of exchange has increased, the supply of foreign exchange has also increased. See that when the price of the foreign exchange rises from 60 to 70, the supply of foreign exchange also increases from 20 to 30. That is what I want to make it clear to you. So we can say there is a direct relationship between supply of foreign exchange and price of foreign exchange. Now we will move on to the next topic, how the equilibrium rate of exchange is determined. How the equilibrium rate of exchange is determined. Equilibrium rate, whenever you hear the name equilibrium rate, what should come to your mind? It will occur only with the forces of demand and supply. So definitely you will have to draw a diagram where there is a demand curve as well as a supply curve. So how will you explain the equilibrium rate of exchange? Equilibrium rate of exchange takes place. Equilibrium rate of exchange takes place at a point where demand for foreign exchange intersect the supply of foreign exchange. Diagrammatically, we can see demand and supply of foreign exchange is marked on the x-axis, rate of exchange is marked on the y-axis. Supply curve is an upward sloping curve and demand curve is a downward sloping curve. The point where the demand curve and the supply curve intersect, that is the equilibrium point. From the equilibrium point, you can see to the y-axis, the rate of exchange is determined as rupees 60 with the quantity of 10. So in the x-axis, demand and supply is marked together. So the equilibrium rate of exchange is the rate of exchange which is determined by the intersection of demand for foreign exchange and supply of foreign exchange, and that is known as that equilibrium rate of exchange. Here it is 60 in the example, and that exchange rate is known as par value of exchange. Par value of exchange. Now one more thing I want to make it clear to you is that the demand and the supply curve intersect at a point, and that point is equilibrium, where the equilibrium rate of exchange is determined. Now, in which market situation this happens? Definitely flexible exchange rate system, because in a flexible exchange rate system, the equilibrium rate of exchange is determined at a point. It is the market system where the equilibrium rate of exchange is determined by the forces of demand and supply. So we can write it takes place in a flexible market system. I hope all the concepts are clear to you. Thank you, children.